You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. I know you've been waiting for this video. Stop selling accounting, start selling economic transformation. It's what you all want, right? You've been looking for it. Hey, like and subscribe. Check us out at Universal Accounting Center. Grow your firm. Add on services, right, to what you've already have existing, or build the premier accounting firm. We give you coaches, everything you need to go to the next level. So look, what do I mean by stop selling accounting and start selling economic transformation? Well, most accountants think they're losing deals because they aren't good at sales. It's not true, right? They're losing deals because they fundamentally misunderstand what they're actually selling. So let me explain what I mean by that. If I asked 100 accountants what they sell, I'd get answers like, hey, Nate, I sell bookkeeping, tax preparation, payroll, probably advisory services, I do financial reporting. None of those answers are correct. Those are activities, right? Those are processes. Those are mechanics. Those are vehicles. They are not what the client is buying. And until you understand that distinction, you will forever fight price objections, compete against cheaper providers, and struggle to charge premium fees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why most accountants unknowingly position themselves as technicians and when they should be positioning themselves as economic architects, right? Because the highest paid advisors in the world, you're not selling accounting, you're selling economic transformation. So let's go ahead and let's knock these out. Grab a pencil and paper. Hey, listen, you need to be locked in. You need to have a winning mindset right now. It needs to be all about, hey, educational transformation. What can I learn? So that I can go out and earn more money, right? The more I learn, the more I earn. I always say that. So, Module 1, the great accounting lie, right? The great accounting lie. The accounting profession has trained accountants to think like technicians. I see it all the time. Can't have it, right? Technical accuracy, technical competence, technical compliance, technical knowledge. Well, look, all of those things matter, but clients don't buy the technical knowledge. They're not buying it because you've got your fancy degree or your beautiful certification, right? Clients buy what technical knowledge produces. This is where most accountants get trapped. A CPA spends 20 years mastering tax law. A prospect spends 20 seconds deciding whether to hire him, right? Why? Because expertise alone doesn't create value. The perception of economic impact creates value. A business owner doesn't wake up thinking, man, I hope someone reconciles my bank account today. No! You know what they wake up thinking? Why am I making more revenue but have less cash? Can I hire another employee? Can I afford a second location? Am I paying too much in taxes? Maybe they're thinking, why am I working harder but making less, right? Well, those are economic problems, not accounting problems. All right, let's go to Module 2. Why accountants get commoditized. Guys, why accountants get commoditized. What does that even mean? Look, every commodity, okay? Every commodity market looks the same. You all sound the same. You all look the same. You all market the same. But here's the problem. The buyer cannot distinguish meaningful differences. The buyer cannot distinguish meaningful differences, okay? So, for example, I want you to think about gasoline, okay? Think milk. Think paper towels. Think bookkeeping. The moment the prospect cannot see a meaningful difference between providers, price becomes the deciding factor. And that's exactly what's happening in accounting. We have accounting A. Accountant A, we do bookkeeping. Then we have accountant B, we do bookkeeping. Then we have accountant C. What do you think they say? You say it too, we do bookkeeping. So now what happens is, well, you guys all do bookkeeping, right? Nothing's different. Shoot, what's the best price? So that's not the client's fault. Whose fault is it? It's yours. And that's why you're watching these videos, so you can get better, right? Look, this is the problem. Every one of you sound identical. So the moment you sound identical, what happens is you become replaceable. So you have to be uncommon in a common market. Does that make sense? All right, make sure you write that line down. Module 3, what you need to actually sell. What you need to actually sell. Well, elite salespeople sell one thing, decision quality. Decision quality. That's it. All right? If you want to be elite, you have to sell decision quality. So you have to understand that the real product isn't bookkeeping. The real product isn't tax planning. The real product isn't advisory. The real product is better decisions. Better business decisions, right? Every service you provide, okay, think about this, okay? Every service you provide exists to improve decision quality. Write that down and underline it. Every service I provide exists to improve decision quality. There's a few other things too. Look, understand this. Financial reporting improves decisions. Tax planning improves decisions. Cash flow forecasting improves decisions. Profit analysis, it improves decisions. Pricing analysis, it improves decisions. The client is not buying reports, they're buying better decisions. The reports are merely the mechanism. All right? Guys, look. Let's go to Module 4, by the way. For me, this is huge. The 4 economic levels, okay? And most of you guys, most accounts sell on level 1, right? And you have to do all 4 for this to work. So, level 1 is activity. We reconcile accounts, we prepare returns, we categorize transactions. That's not what we want to do, all right? We want to go deeper. So here's level 2, accuracy, okay? It's what you say, hey, your books will be accurate. You guys do that all the time. That's good, but it's still weak. Right? Accuracy is expected by your title. Look, think about it. Nobody brags that their surgeon used clean instruments. That's the minimum standard. Use your common sense. Level 3, remember, layers. So then there's insight. We help you understand what the numbers mean. Well, that's better, right? Now we're moving. Hey, Janet, we help you understand what the numbers mean. That's a lot better, right? Let's go to level 4. The economic transformation. This is where premium fees live. Want to make more money? Got to do big boy things. Look, here's some examples for you. So instead of, hey, we provide monthly bookkeeping, say, we help business owners identify where profit is leaking before it destroys cash flow. Instead of, we provide financial statements, say, we help business owners make hiring, pricing, and growth decisions using real financial intelligence. Instead of, we provide tax planning, say, we help business owners legally keep more of what they earn. Notice the difference, okay? One sells accounting, the other sells economic outcomes. And that's what we want. Boom! All right. Module 5, okay? The real reason people hire accountants. The real reason people hire accountants. Oh. This is where sales psychology becomes fascinating. Most accountants believe clients hire them because they need accounting. Wrong. People hire accountants because of fear. Fear of taxes, fear of uncertainty, fear of making mistakes, losing money, exposure, right? Fear of making the wrong decision. So you have to understand, fear is the trigger and accounting is the solution. The mistake accountants make is discussing the solution before fully understanding the fear. All right, let's go to Module 6, the question elite advisors ask. Guys, average accountants ask operational questions, okay? And you're an elite salesperson, and this is what you need to do. Ask transformational questions. So this is what most people do. Hey, how are you currently doing bookkeeping? Well, that's terrible. Here's what you need to ask. How confident are you in the decisions you're making right now? Here's another horrible question. Who currently prepares your taxes? Here's what you need to ask. How much money do you think you're leaving on the table every year, Janet? Talk to me about that. And how do you think that's affecting your business? And what's that doing for you and your family? Okay, you get it. All right. Let's go to the next one. Hey, how often do you read the financial statements? Here's a good one for you. What financial decision have you delayed because you weren't confident in the numbers? See, one conversation creates information, the other creates awareness. Awareness creates sales, guys. Let's go to Module 7, the future of accounting. The future of accounting. Man, this gets me excited. Guys, it's probably what you don't want to hear, but AI will continue replacing tasks. Software will continue replacing processes. Automation will continue replacing labor. The future accountant is not a processor. The future accountant is not doesn't do just reconciliations all day, right? No, they're just not an advisor, okay? Look, here's the thing. The future accountant's not even a tax form producer. The future accountant is a translator, a strategist, an interpreter, a guide, someone who turns financial information into economic action. Guys, look, the winners won't be the accountants who know the most. The winners will be the accountants who can create the most economic transformation for clients. Let's go to Module 8. How to charge premium clients. Look, now we're finally getting to what nobody teaches. Premium fees are not charged because you're better. Premium fees are charged because the client understands the economic consequences of your work. Look, if you save a client 20 grand, your fee is no longer an expense. You're identifying a pricing issue worth 50 grand. Your fee is no longer an expense. If you prevent a major tax mistake, your fee is no longer an expense. Premium fees are a function of economic impact. So not effort, not hours, your silly credentials that you're so obsessed with, not complexity, but economic impact, right? That's what elite salespeople understand. So look, the accountants making the most money in the next decade will understand something most accountants never will. They're not in the accounting business. They're in the decision-making business. They're not in the profit business. They're in the cash flow business. They're in the business clarity. Okay? They're in the business clarity business. Almost forgot what I was going to say. They're in the economic transformation business. Look, the moment you stop positioning yourself as someone who prepares reports and start positioning yourself as someone who changes the financial trajectory of a company, everything's going to change. Your fees change, your conversations change, your confidence changes, your positioning changes, and most importantly, the clients see you change, right? That's the way. Well, that's how you want to do it. The client seeing you change, seeing you get better. The way clients see you is the biggest thing. So it has to change how they see you. You have to change how you see yourself, because accountants record history and elite salespeople shape the future. So good luck. See you in the next video.